ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So today we will be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 20, and text today we will read 47 and 48. The 47 verse there is no purport, so I will read first and then. उदहिर्ष्यन् वारिजानि सूर्योत्थाने कुमुद्विना राज्ञा तो निर्भया लोके यथा दस्युन बिना नृपः। O King Parikshit, when the autumn sun rose, all the lotus flower bloomed happily except the night blooming kumut. Just as in the presence of a strong ruler, everyone becomes fearless except the thieves. Please repeat after me this word. pura-grāmeṣv pura-grāmeṣu āgrayaṇair indriyaiś mahotsavaiḥ babhau pakva-śaṣyāḍhyā kalābhyāṁ nitarāṁ hareḥ pura in the towns, grāmeṣu and villages, āgrayaṇair with performance of Vedic sacrifice for tasting the first grains of the new harvest. Indriyaiś with other worldly celebrations. And mahā-utsavaiḥ great celebrations. Babhau shone, bhūḥ the earth, pakva-śaṣyāḍhyā śaṣya with her grains, āḍhyā rich, kalā she who is the expansion of the Lord, ābhyām with those two, Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma, nitarāṁ very much, hareḥ of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation and purport. In all the towns and villages, people held great festivals, performing the Vedic fire sacrifice for honoring and tasting the first grains of the new harvest, along with similar celebration that followed local custom and tradition. Thus the earth, rich with newly grown grains, and especially beautified by the presence of Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma, shone beautifully as an expansion of the Supreme Lord. Purport. The word āgrayaṇaih refers to a particular authorized Vedic sacrifice, and the word indriyaiḥ refers to folk ceremonies that have somewhat worldly objective. Srila Prabhupada comments as follows: during autumn, the fields become filled with ripened grains. At that time, the people become happy over the harvest and observe various ceremonies such as Navan, the offering of new grains to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The new grains are first offered to the deities in various temples, and all other invited to take sweet rice made with these new grains. There are other religious ceremonies and methods of worshipping, particularly in Bengal, where the greatest of all such ceremonies is held, called Durga Puja. These verses are almost conclusion of description of a rainy season and autumn. Shukadeva Goswami, in the beginning of this chapter, has described the characteristic and beauty of rainy season, and later part he has started to describe the beauty or characteristic of autumn, Sarat. In general, in this chapter, description about the beauty of Vrindavan during rainy season and autumn. इत्थम शरत स्वच्छ जलम पद्माकर सुगंधिना न्यवसद वायुना वातम स गो गोपालकोच्युत. Every single day Krishna entered Vrindavan forest along with cows and cowherd boys. And again description of Sarat. Itham Sarat Swaksh Jalam. Swaksh Jalam. In the autumn, in the Sarat, naturally the waters becomes clear. In rainy season, we see waters, muddy water, sometimes brown in color. But soon as this is the particular, this is the special feature of the rainy season, sorry, Sarat, that soon the drops from the sky touch the water on the surface or reservoir. Immediately complete whole waters becomes completely cleansed. That is reason why Itham Sarat Swaksh Jalam. Swaksh, Su-aksh, khub badhiya. Waters becomes crystal clear, transparent water, and all the, since rainy season has ended, still all the lakes like Radha Kund or Kusum Sarovar or Gobind Kund, they are Swaksh Jalam, they are completely filled with Jal and Swaksh Jal, very clear. Besides that, Padmakar Sugandhina, in the autumn season, you know, the lotus blooms in other season also. But lotus beauties multiply manifold when it blooms in the Sarat season, Sarat Kal. Sarat Kal means Ashwin and Kartik, especially Kartik. Sarat, all the lakes, kundas are filled with crystal clear water, transparent water, and different type of lotus flower are blooming in the water. And those flowers are so fragrant, perfume, that whole atmosphere, all the atmosphere, Vayu, breeze is perfumed by the fragrance. So, Vayuna Vatam, Vayu, breeze is blowing, wind is blowing with soft speed. Sital, Mand and Sugandh, the characteristic of the Vayu, nice Vayu, good, healthy Vayu. It should be Sital, cool, and same time it should be Mand, it is moving not fastly like Andhi, and it should have fragrance. So whole Vrindavan breeze is perfumed by the fragrance of lotus flower. And then Kusmit Raji. What about the trees? All the trees, creepers, plants and herbs, they are also loaded with fruits and flowers. Especially in autumn, in Saratkal. Kusmit Banaraji, the trees loaded with fruits and flower. And flowering creeper, the whole tree, first of the bushes and trees are covered by the flowery bushes, flowery creepers. Besides that, Susmi Bhring Dvij Kula Justam. Justams, Sukdev Goswami described that the whole atmosphere, all Vrindavan, it is Justam means resounded by humming bee, bumblebee. Everywhere, since flower is there, lot of flower is blooming in the Vrindavan, all the trees are loaded with fruits and flower. fragrance fruit as well as fragrance flower. That is the reason why the Brahmar or bees, bumblebee, they become intoxicated by tasting the, honoring the honey emanating from those flowers. And Kushmit Rajij and Susmi bring Dvij Kul Justam. Due to the Brahmar, due to the presence of bees, honey bees especially, they are humming always, and same times different types of birds are chirping. Chirping of birds. Besides different animal also making different type of sound. So whole Vrindavan, it is completely resounded by vibration. And not only this, besides this, Kṛṣṇa is playing flute. So forest is resounded by humming sound of bees, sweet chirpings of the bird, and other animals also making sound, as well as the cowherd boys also sing. And the top of this, Kṛṣṇa is vibrating, playing his flute. That is the reason why the whole forest completely resounded. First, surcharged with fragrance, and second, it is resounded by the different transcendental, divya, divine sound vibration. So this description, and then talk about, we are coming this verse, 46 verse describe. Udhirjan varijani, all the flowers that grows in the water, every single flower is blooming. When its sun is arising, its sun is on the surface in the sky, immediately all the flowers blooming, except lily. Lily, kumud, a certain type of flowers is a type of lotus flower, but it only blooms in the presence of moon rays. If there is no moon, no night time it closes, and night time blooms. Lily, and daytimes close. And lotus flower, night time they covered their mouth, and daytimes they bloom. So Sukadeva Goswami he described Udhrisyan Varijani Suryothane, when sunrise is there, sun is rising in the sky, then all the lotus blooms except the lily. An example is Raja tu Nirbhaya Loka. If a powerful, efficient ruler, king is there present on earthly planet, everyone becomes happy, jubilant, because king, potent king is there. He is completely ruling the kingdom. So all citizens are very happy, pleasant, jubilant, except thieves. They are not very much satisfied. They don't appreciate the presence of good ruler, powerful ruler. And then this chapter describes Sukadeva Goswami has described the beauty of Vrindavan in a general, but in this particular verse 48, Sukadeva Goswami described the beauty of the surface of the earth of Vrindavan. Earth, how this earthly planet, surface of Vrindavan, surface of earth of Vrindavan. The pura-grāmeṣv, in the pura means towns like Mathura, and grāmeṣu in the villages like Nandagram and Barsana, other villages. They are festival, the people are holding festivals, different type of festival in cities as well as in village. For what? Āgrayaṇair. Āgrayaṇair means a festival when we crops, ripen crops, फसल पक जाती है, तो people collect, the farmers when they collect, harvesting the crops, and first grain they have collected, they don't use themselves. That first fruit, first grain of the particular season which is harvested, that must go to the deity, temples. So first it is of so this festival now in the autumn season, in Kartik month, especially Kartik, different, ready now, all the crops, especially paddy, rice, it is ready. So they harvest paddy field and they collect the grains, rice, and first rice should go to the temple. They don't use in the house. That festival āgrayaṇair. So in autumn season in city and villages, they are holding different type of ceremony, different type of festival. And then another type in indriyaiś, other festivals as well. Other festival not directly connected with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, worshipping, honoring the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It has some tinge of sense gratification. Some festival they also celebrate for sense gratification. It's not necessarily worshipping, honoring Supreme Personality of Godhead or any demigod. Rather for their own sense gratification. And Srila Prabhupada in this purport mentioned about one very celebrated festival usually held in East India, especially in Bengal, during Kwar, Ashwin में होता है ना, Durga Puja. And it is not necessarily this festivity is not for increasing Krishna consciousness, for sure. However, festivities go, the Prabhupada mentioned about Durga Puja. Simple description that very celebrated, greatest Prabhupada writes, particularly in Bengal, where the greatest of all such ceremony, but ceremony, festival, which is particularly they are holding for their own sense gratification. They have nothing to do for cultivation of Krishna consciousness. They are not interested to satisfy any demigod, rather for sense gratification. So some crops, the whole field of Vrindavan, or surface of earth is covered by crops, especially paddy कहते हैं ना, धान, rice. And that reason why bhūḥ nitarāṁ babhau, the bhū, Prithvi, looks extremely beautiful and opulent. You can experience the opulence of beauty when it is filled with the crops of paddy and other things. We have experience in the parikrama when we go, especially when we walk from Madhuban to Talban, then Kumudban. Those parikrama, this is usually mud path. There is no road. Still, even at present there is no road. And you walk, that footpath is there. When you walk, you feel that you sunk in the crops, in both sides. Almost you sink yourself in the 2-3 feet deep in the crops. Both sides, like as height as your own shoulder. Both sides crops are there. Paddy, rice crops. Different type of birds, and especially those times the butterfly flying everywhere. And the Prithvi looks very rich, very opulent, and same time very beautiful. And of course, fragrance is there. Whole atmosphere is perfumed by the flower or grains of fragrance emanated from the grains of paddy crops, or different type of crops. So Prithvi looks very beautiful, and another reason of its beauty is ābhyām, because the presence of Kṛṣṇa. ābhyām means Kṛṣṇa and Balarāma. Of course, Vrindavan is very beautiful, no doubt, due to different reason. Nature itself has decorated by the help of Vrindadevi, completely very nice, beautiful, opulent, very rich. Besides ābhyām means Kṛṣṇa Balarāma. Due to presence of Kṛṣṇa Balarāma, the earthly planet, earthly surface, surface of earthly Vrindavan is very nice. So one scene I would like to describe here in this particular verse. It is described that Vrindavan looks very beautiful, the land of Braj, Braj Bhumi looks extremely beautiful due to the presence of Kṛṣṇa. There is very nice description. One day, that particular day when wives of Brahmana, Yajna Patni, first time they saw Kṛṣṇa. They have heard about Kṛṣṇa since Kṛṣṇa appeared in the Vrindavan. They were residing in Mathura and they were hearing about Kṛṣṇa's pastime, Kṛṣṇa's sweetness, glorious pastime. But they never ever have seen Kṛṣṇa. So first time, one day they saw that Kṛṣṇa was standing. When they came from Yajna Bhumi, and Kṛṣṇa that particular day, Kṛṣṇa was herding cow along with his cowherd wife in Ashok Upavan. There are 12 forests and similar 12 Upavan as also. So that particular day, Kṛṣṇa was herding cows in the Ashok Upavan, and the wives of Brahmana, Yajna Patni, they were very much eager to see Kṛṣṇa and they came to see Kṛṣṇa. Of course, they brought different type of food for Kṛṣṇa offering. So first time they saw Kṛṣṇa. So here words, Shabda are Sukadeva Goswami. Words Sukadeva Goswami describing but Sukadeva Goswami describing what the Yajna Patni are seeing. That this here is eyes of Yajna Patni. They are beholding, they are looking. And they are not giving description. They are simply looking on the Kṛṣṇa, personality of Kṛṣṇa. And seeing Kṛṣṇa through the eyes of the Brahman Patni, Yajna Patni, Kṛṣṇa, Sukadeva Goswami described. So when they saw that Kṛṣṇa was standing under the Ashok tree, that particular day when the Yajna Patni saw that day, Kṛṣṇa was not standing standing under the Kadamba tree or Tamal tree, rather he was standing Ashok tree. Shyamam. They say the complexion of the or hue of the body, transcendental body of Kṛṣṇa was Shyam, bluish, blackish blue, or bluish black. Hiranya paridhim. And they saw that Kṛṣṇa wore garment in Hiranya, golden color, pitambar. And then there's a banmala. Krishna and the Brahmana Patni saw around the neck of Krishna, around the neck of Krishna, there banmala, the mala, garland made of forest flower, Vaijayanti mala. In that particular mala, there were different type of flowers were there. In Vaijayanti mala, every single day, Srimati Radha goes to Kusum Sarovar along with her Sakhi and collects flower from the near Kusum Sarovar, and they prepare a garland. That garland is called Vaijayanti mala. In Vaijayanti mala, at least there should be 5 different flowers. And those flowers should have different color as well. So in Vaijayanti mala, especially prepared by Srimati Radha Rani or Chandravali or other Gopi, Lalita Sakhi, they're very nicely, they use their all expertise. They use their all expertise to make this garland very beautiful, very attractive, so that it should be very much attractive for Krishna himself. So they saw that there was mala, Krishna was wearing a mala, banmala, garland made of forest flower. And in the mala there are different type of flower. Kund, one flower. Mogara, you say mogara. Kund was there. Whitish in color and very fragrant. And mandar, bhaumyam parijat. Mandar was there, parijat was there, kamal was there, and tulsi. This 5 type of different flowers should be in Vaijayanti mala. Please count me. Kund, mandar, parijat, kamal, and tulsi. So they saw that Krishna, they saw Vaijayanti mala. And then dhatu praval. Cow-head boys, they had painted on Krishna's divine body with the color minerals. Gair. They collected grey lithium stone, but very soft stone. They have painting on the body of Krishna. Natavesham. Krishna has dressed himself, or cowboy has dressed Krishna, Natavesham. As a player, as an actor, as a dramatic player, dancer, anubratanse vinastya, and they saw the Brahman, Yagyapatni, that they saw that Krishna has placed his left hand in the shoulder of his friend, Sridham. Krishna left hand, Krishna has placed, or Krishna rested his left hand on the shoulder of his very devoted, friendly, who has very friendly attitude toward Krishna on the shoulder of Sridham. And Itarena, with other hand, with right hand, Dhunanam, Krishna was whirling. Krishna was rotating a ābhyā. Ābhyā means up, means water, that flower, the flower which grows in the water. So with right hand, Krishna was whirling, or Krishna was rotating a flower, lotus flower. And Varaha, upward thing. On his hair, in his head, there were peacock feather. Karna utpala. And in the ears, both ears, lilies, lily flower, kumud. One on one ear and another, there's 2 lily flower. Kapola mukhabjahasa, Karnotpala. and his face, the curly hair hanging in front of his cheeks. There. Extend means when Krishna was standing, then curly hairs of Krishna hair, they were hanging in front of his cheeks. So sometimes Krishna was like putting beside. And kapol, right, his kapol means cheeks, near the cheeks the curly hairs were hanging. And mukhabjahasam, and there was a very pleasing, attractive smile on his face. So here Sukadeva Goswami, of course Vrindavan is beautifully, very attractive, no doubt. Prakriti herself, nature herself decorated in order to honor, please Krishna. Vrinda Devi has used her all expertise in her command so to decorate, beautify this land of Braja. So effort of Prakriti Devi, nature herself, as well as helped by or headed by Vrinda Devi. Vrindavan is very beautiful, extremely beautiful, very charming, very attractive, very rich, very opulent, sumptuous grass, fruits, flower, lakes filled with crystal clear water. Beside the presence of Krishna, kalābhyāṁ, nitarāṁ, hareḥ, because Krishna is present there, that is reason why land of Vrindavan is always beautiful, but especially in the season of autumn. In autumn, its beauty has enhanced in millions, many times, many-fold. So this verse talks about festival, the Brajavasi they are holding. And indriyaiḥ means other festival, means in Brajavasi they were holding, they are, of course, before Govardhan Puja, of course, the Govardhan Puja Krishna started. Before, when Krishna was approximately 7 years old, before that, Nand Baba and all the Brajavasi, there was one there like annual greatest festival of Brajavasi, it was Indra Puja. They are doing, worshipping Indradev, thinking that Indra is the god of rain, god of cloud. So Indra sends forth of clouds raining, and due to the rain, different type of grass is growing, and by the help of grass, they were, the Brajavasi, they were earning their livelihood by the milk and milk product produced by the cow. So their worshipable god, demigod, worshipable deva was Indra. So they were holding the festival. So Sukadeva Goswami here described that later on when Krishna, because of course you must know that almost 6 years, every single year Krishna has participated in Indra Puja. When he becomes 7, that he has stopped. No more Indra Puja. Now we should worship Govardhan Puja. So here, mahotsavaiḥ, the Brajavasi were performing different type of festival in autumn, in Sarat. Especially the festival, the harvesting the first crops of the season, and that crops, that grain should be offered to the Lord in the temples, to the deity, and in the honoring that they were performing a sacrifices, yajna, big festival. Besides that, they were holding festival like Indra Puja before that, and other puja also. Here Prabhupada ji mentioned about Kali Puja, Durga Puja. The Prabhupada talks about in the general description that even nowadays there are different type of worship is going on, necessarily not for cultivation of Krishna consciousness, necessarily not satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and necessarily not for satisfying any particular demigod, but sometimes for their own sense gratification they hold the festival. And Prabhupada talks about in this word Durga Puja. Certainly Durga Puja, if you are familiar, aware with if someone has visited Bengal, their way of offering and their menu certainly will not appreciate what they are offering for Durga Ji, and then in return their prasadam they are consuming. You may or may not appreciate, most likely you may not appreciate their way worshipping, what they do and what they sacrifice. It is like apatkal for goat in Durga Puja. Of course, no care for fish. There, nobody care. But for goat, when they think about coming Vyas Puja, बकरी और भेड़ उनको अच्छा नहीं लगता है. They don't like the coming festival. So here in brief, of course, this is almost the concluding verse describing the beauty of Vrindavan during the autumn. Many things about beauty. When their beauty of Vrindavan is described about the tree, the gopi, they are talking that the tree is not ordinary tree, they are the Muni. They have appeared as the tree in Vrindavan, but actually almost the tree they are Muni. In order to have a clear view, in order to serve Kṛṣṇa, in order to please Kṛṣṇa, they have taken birth as a tree. But they are liberated souls, liberated Muni. And about the word, they are also Muni. And the birds, what they do, especially when Kṛṣṇa plays flutes, all the birds, they fly and they take shade on the top branch of the tree. They take there, they go there, sit there, they fly on the sit on the top branch of that in order to have a clear view, clear vision of Kṛṣṇa. And when sometimes the Kṛṣṇa is not visible, but they could hear the sound vibration of the flute, vibrated by Kṛṣṇa. At that time, all the words, they close their eyes. When Kṛṣṇa was not visible, suppose Kṛṣṇa is playing flute on the other side of Giriraj, and what is this? So they could hear the sound vibration. So at that time, they close their eyes. And simply they concentrate their mind simply by hearing sound vibration. And when Kṛṣṇa was directly in front of them, then they hear the sound vibration and same time they sit at such a position that they could have a clear vision, clear view of Kṛṣṇa. So the birds and the trees, they are Muni, Praya. Almost all the trees and all the birds, Pakshi of Vrindavan, they are Muni. And this is stated by the gopis, they are talking in this person. Okay, if I have many things, but I think I should stop. It's a few minutes to go. However, if you have any question or comment, you are welcome. This much remember that this is the final description of beauty of Vrindavan during autumn. Okay, anybody has any question or comment?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Due to urbanization, Vrindavan has changed somewhat, as we find from the description. So, when we go to parikrama in Vrindavan or take darshan of deities, we do not have that vision which is mentioned in Bhagavatam or other literatures. So, how we can have the vision that is mentioned in scriptures?
No, I am not. I under something we are talking about parikrama. Actually, you have practical experience. When you walk from the Madhuban to Talban, just few 100 meters you walk, we enter in the field, crops, farming. So, walking path is very narrow. Some places, at a time, one person can walk on the trail, on the path, and both sides. Sometimes arhar, sometimes joy. You feel that you are sunk 3, 4, 5 feet in the crops, and both sides. Very nice, and some fragrance is also. And at that particular time, titali, butterfly, they themselves are very beautiful, flying different direction. Birds are chirping. So here, since Sukadeva Goswami described here, śaṣya, pakva-śaṣyāḍhyā. Pakva means ripen crops. The earthly planet, the surface of bhumi of Vrindavan, rich, opulent, beautiful, because of ripen śaṣya. Pakva śaṣya, see, paddy crops or grain crops. So this is beauty. Even now, especially, forget it. I don't use this mic for commercial purpose of advertising or Brajmandal Parikrama. It is considered to be illegal. I should not use this mic for commercial or advertising the glories of parikrama. However, since description of pakva-śaṣyāḍhyā, the earthly planet is rich, opulent, due to the ripened crops of grain. Especially in other season, but especially in month of Kartik in autumn. Its beauty, its opulence, it multiplied many times. So concentrate, at least we should think how the birds are chirping in Vrindavan, bees humming, the whole atmosphere is perfumed by the divine fragrance of the lotus flowers, and it is resounded by sound vibration of other animal, and especially by sound vibration of Kṛṣṇa. And its beauty have increased due to the presence of Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa is present in Vrindavan. Okay, so I should stop here. Anything? Okay. ग्रंथ श्रीमद् भागवतम के